Hello, I'm Art Callahan, and I'm here with Fred Shinber and Jim Miller, and you have found the flip side. Governor Rick Perry announced this week that if the Obama administration wasn't going to protect the border, he was. Under his authority, he has called up 1,000 members of the National Guard in Texas at a cost of $12 million a month. Fred, is this a sign of the times for all the states? Do you think all the states are going to ultimately have to put some money into this? What's your take on all this?
Well, I do. I think this is a sign of the times. This is an issue that it's going to take a long time to resolve. And I applaud Governor Perry for taking the initiative to include or to rely on his National Guard. That's what the National Guard is for. Okay. And not just for floods and moving people around that way, but to defend its people. And so I think the only question I have about that is $12 million a month. And I believe that's on the low side for 1,000 folks. Sure. So I don't know where that's going to go. So yes, we are going to be paying for it in Maryland. I don't think we'll be activating our National Guard to do this, but I think in some way we're going to end up paying the price monetarily to do this.
So let's return to Texas for a minute if we can. Sure. And you know, Josh Earnest, the new White House press secretary, said
I hate that green tie.
said that essentially this was a publicity stunt by Perry to generate headlines, and he is hoping that Perry will proceed to take constructive steps to solve the problem, and his specific ask on that is to call up all of his Republican buddies and get them to approve the $3.7 billion aid package, which to the best of my understanding does nothing about reinforcing border security. Exactly. And it just color me crazy, but I think until you stop the incoming traffic, you're not going to stop the problem.
Well, I think that's been generally the Republican position. I mean, and this is clearly a political issue.
Yes, it is.
But the Republican position has been secure the border first, and then take whatever actions are necessary after that.
And especially when you consider what Jim just mentioned, the $3.7 billion. It's a lot of money.
It is.
And none of it is for the border security. It is to pay salaries, to hire. And I understand this administration has hired more security guards, more Border Patrol folks than any other administration.
Sure, and judges.
Well, then how are we getting away? Why are we in the situation we're in? So that $3.7 billion will go in no time.
Well, also intriguing to me is the fact that Obama really almost took a victory lap in the last couple of weeks, saying that the flow dropped from 355 a day down to about 150 per day in recent weeks. That's still an amazing amount of people. And, you know, in total, I don't remember what the total number, but somewhere around 50,000 unaccompanied minors in the last year have come into the United States illegally.
What's this deal about the administration knew about it? Anybody got a thought on that? I mean, this has been brewing for many, many months. This wasn't something that just occurred.
But it's something they read in the news.
Well, there's great stuff on that.
They get all the great scandals out of the news. I'm not sure which news.
Well, I mean, today.
Maybe from the flip side. Excuse me.
Yeah, today the president said, oh, no. He knows about all this stuff before it happens because he's in the know.
Yeah,
I mean, so that interesting stuff.
But when they talk about the IRS and the Fast and Furious and all those others smidgen of scandal involved, they have heard it from the news.
Right.
And yet, again, he's known about it all along.
Oh, yeah, that's
so they've
exactly
taken
right.
no action other than doing more fundraising.
Right. You know, getting back to the Maryland piece of it, Governor O'Malley recently rethought his position on the issue.
Right.
Originally, he said that these illegal immigrant children should be classified as refugees and given asylum from what he called certain death. Now, however, he is begging White House officials not to dump immigrants in a facility in his state. He'd like to see them go to foster care and only on a worst case scenario go into some type of congregate housing.
Well, that's that's the social side of the issue. We talked a little bit about the political side. sort of the rift between the Republicans and the Democrats on this. But on the social side, I mean, is this really an issue for the American society to deal with? I mean, is this really a humanitarian effort, and should we be involved in that?
Well, that's a deep question, and I think that everybody's going to have a little bit different opinion on that, of course, as we should. But gee, I don't. I think it's important, and I think we need to draw the line somewhere, and that's the line. The border is the line, and they're on that side. It's where they belong, unless they want to take the proper steps, just like my grandparents, great grandparents did. Just right on down the line. Let's make it right, and
Sure.
So we need to, as a society, need to enforce that. Again, close the border.
What I don't understand is what kind of sales job these people that are bringing these children. I mean, as a parent, I cannot imagine giving my child into the hands of someone who I probably don't know, on the promise that he or she is going to take them across the border into the United States. I cannot understand how a parent would make that decision.
Plus money along with that.
Having said that, though, again, looking at the Obama administration, did they almost incent that behavior with their comments about all of the immigration piece? You know, I don't know. I don't know.
Sure. Well, it's a big issue that's going to confront all the states. You know, one tact we could take here on the panel is, what do you think? Arizona next, that they'll call up their National Guard? I mean,
and I hope they do. I hope Governor Brewer, I believe her name is. I hope she does. I would like to think that California. I would like to think that they all unite, all the governors, regardless of the party, that they unite and they get the National Guard. That's what it's about.
There's some interesting things on the social side, if you will. You know, these immigrant children, and of course we could sit here and talk for hours about, are they really children, or are we talking about 17 and 18-year-olds that have been released from prison or problems in the country that they came from. But anyway, whoever takes these illegal immigrants in, they're going to come, those kids or whatever, are going to come with federal money essentially in their pocket, if you will. We saw out in California, $6,500 a month for one child. I mean, that's not, from an economic point of view, that's not a bad deal.
That's not chump change.
No, that's not. You figure that up, that's $75,000
Not
a
even
year.
for the Callahan family.
Oh,
you know,
that's
a good pocket size.
Now,
money.
interestingly, my understanding is that our local Tea Party,
Yeah.
and I don't always agree with that group either, but our local Tea Party has asked the county commissioners to sign something saying that we don't want
A proclamation.
a proclamation that we
Yeah.
don't want these illegal immigrants. I don't know how I feel about that one. Again, I think things are on a case-by-case basis, but in theory, I agree with it.
Well,
And I do. I certainly do. They're in the position representing the constituents, and I certainly support that. I think we need to take a stand. Everybody needs to take a stand on every community, so that this administration knows where people stand on this.
Right.
And the only way to do it is to have our officials publicly take the stands. And I think I was saying earlier that if they come to Washington County, the ball stadium down there, we certainly have an empty field, could have an empty field down there where we could bivouac these children, you know, give them GP mediums and,
that's
and
right.
what have you. We
Well, and of
could
course,
take care of them there.
We've got Fort Ritchie and the old parade field. I mean, that's where the National Guard in Maryland used to.
We've got all those finger buildings.
all
We
the-
could fill them up.
mess
We've been
mess
looking.
halls.
Yeah, there
I
you
mean,
go.
They've been
got
looking for
bowling
places.
alleys, golf
Absolutely.
courses,
Absolutely.
all
Well,
kinds
we've got
of
all
good
kinds
stuff.
of areas around here, basically, where we could.
Well, that's an interesting, and that's a conundrum, I think, really and truly, is quite honestly, if we were talking in terms of 100 children, forget the illegal immigrant for just a moment, but if we were talking about, could this community absorb 100 children into our infrastructure? The answer to that, truthfully, and we may not like the answer, but the answer is, that we probably can do that.
The problem in my mind still, and I don't understand the argument, how you can argue that you're going to solve the problem without closing the border.
Well,
It's like sitting in a hospital getting pint after pint of blood given to you while you're bleeding it out from your foot.
Sure.
I just don't get it.
Well, listen, next up, we're going to talk about topics ripped from the headlines in our new segment called We Report, You Decide. Plus, we'll review feedback on a couple of the issues that were discussed on this segment last week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When Scott was just a little kid, we knew something was a little different about him.
So what do you think, Scott?
Well, I was hoping for something with flames, a big block, and a high car.
So it really wasn't a surprise when he opened up a speed shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown. You can find performance parts at every Megamart or .com, but when you buy from Scott, your satisfaction's guaranteed.
And our prices are still as low as my size. We still have bras.
For your car, of course.
Scott's Speed Shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
It's that time of year again at Hagerstown Honda. The 2014 models are on the way and the 2013s must go. It's your last opportunity to save big with 0% for up to 60 months on every new 2013 in stock. There's less than 300 models remaining and time is winding down. Looking for the lowest payment? Lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Civic 4-door LX Automatic for only $219 per month with no money down. Or lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Accord 4-door LX CVT for only $269 per month with no money down. It only happens once a year. The Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now from the dealer that's making it easy, Hagerstown Honda.
The Bottom Line Sales Event is back at Hamilton Nissan. It's our biggest sale of the year and your chance to save thousands. Get up to $5,000 off on Ultimas or drive for as low as $18,600. Or choose Rogue, up to $6,000 off or as low as $19,200. New Sentras for under $16,000. Over $7,000 off on the new Pathfinder. Frontier pickups starting at only $18,100. But hurry, the Bottom Line Sales Event is for a limited time at Hamilton Nissan, your dealership for life.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Ripped from the headlines. This is a segment where we discuss local, state, and national topics that have made the headlines. First up, a recent study found a significant uptick in the use of performance-enhancing drugs, but not by professional athletes, rather by high school students. This is a national trend that I hope doesn't find its way to Washington County. Art, why are these high school students turning to these drugs, and how can our local parents deal with this threat?
Well, I mean, to me, the answer to that question directly is obvious. You know, professional athletes, even college athletes, cannot help being role models for younger athletes at the high school or even the Pee Wee and Pop Warner and Little League levels. And so, until we solve that problem at those higher levels, we're going to have this. Of where, you know, little Johnny says, well, you know, I just saw my man Ray Lewis, or you pick whomever, and he's jacked on roids, so why can't I be jacked up on roids?
But you know, what I read in my research for this topic, it doesn't seem like it's always about enhancing performance for a particular sport to be better. It's for them a matter of vanity and looks and being able to have the big muscles and so forth.
Sure.
Now, my understanding, it affects other parts of the anatomy that we hope the teenagers aren't using at this point, but it affects them in an adverse way.
Well, that's it, yeah.
But again, it's not always about enhanced performance for them in a particular athletic endeavor.
Sure.
And that's very true. And even as young as 12-year-olds, what I don't understand, first of all, the 12-year-old having the knowledge. Growing up in Wyoming, you know, at 12 years old, I didn't know anything about that. I truly didn't anything about any drugs or anything like that. But as young as 12, and and they feel that their competitors are doping, so why shouldn't they? Why definitely shouldn't they? So that they can be competitive.
Sure.
And but I think the biggest question: where are these kids, if you will, these 12-year-olds? Where are they getting this stuff?
Well, that's
who's providing it to them?
I think that's part of the problem, Fred. I think you're exactly right. One of the other things that disturbs me is parents, and I think they've got to hold some responsibility. Is parents are encouraging their kids to be top performers. Now, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that except that it can get out of hand.
Well, and you know, that's a good question. And what are some of the environmental factors that would influence a child's choice to try these drugs? And you know, what you just said is exactly one that came to mind for me.
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, you see these things all the time. You go out to the Little League field and there's the coach yelling at Johnny to maybe do better than Johnny's doing right now. Well, you know, on the surface that may not be a bad thing. We certainly want to see the best come out of our kids. But I don't think you can continue to do that day after day after day without having some adverse effect on the child.
Yeah, or you see the kid coming off the baseball, football, soccer field, and you see the parent ranting and raving about what a horrible job and how can he, you know, all of these types of things. And fortunately, that's the minority of parents, but unfortunately, there are some parents, I think, that use that and think it's a viable method to incent their child to do better.
And don't quote me on this as being exact, but I read a study several years ago about the possibility of a young male, young boy, going on and playing professional football. And the odds of that happening, the odds of that occurring were 1 in 320,000. That was the odds of this Pop Warner kid getting the skills and being able to matriculate, if you will, all the way to play professional football. And so, you know, when we rant about our kids and doing those things and doing better than, you know, what are we doing to our kids? You know, I don't know.
So also of interest is the fact that in the past 4 surveys, the number was at somewhere around 5%.
Yeah.
Now it's at 11.
11%.
So not only have we had a significant increase, but we've had a significant increase in a very short time frame.
Very short.
Why is, again?
Well, and I think it goes, a lot of it does, sports is a big thing, like Art led up, and then I thought your point was spot on, if you will, about the appearance. There is so much emphasis on the pythons, sure. The six-pack, you know, and all that, the physical aspects of the way they look, the ladies, you know, the thinness and all that, and on the young boys. And first of all, it's emotional for them. I mean, they don't want to be known as a skinny Fred. You know, they want to be able to have an image there, and so they get a hold of this, get an opportunity to get a hold of these drugs, and they think it's the best thing, even though they've heard just say no. You know, they've heard about it, but it's really hard to do when you're competing with Monster next to you. You know, that's huge and everything. So it's a tough road.
Fred, if you look, I'm sorry, not Fred. Art.
Yes.
If you look at the other Fred,
yeah.
If you look at what this coincides with in terms of other things that are going on, if you think about it, you know, in the last couple of years, we've had the Lance Armstrong deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much that Lance Armstrong deal, because realistically, he got away with it.
He did.
Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod, exactly.
Sammy Sosa, doing all those wonderful
Rafael Palmeiro.
Oh, I know.
That just broke my heart there.
Well,
that
it does,
that
me
was
too.
really disappointing
Absolutely.
with Rafael. But you're right about the Armstrong thing. He was so defiant for years and years and years, and our hero because of the cancer and all that. I mean, he was a real inspiration. Right. And he sold a lot of bikes.
Oh, you darn tootin'.
So before we get off this segment, because we've only got a short time left, I want to talk about the responses from last week's segments.
Right. And we got some good ones.
We do. And if anyone has any comments on these, feel free to chime in. And I think we're going to actually stretch this segment a little bit if the producers will allow us to.
Good.
But last week we reported that former Vice President Dick Cheney stated on a News Channel interview that President Obama was the worst president in his lifetime. Here are some of the responses. Bert C. from Hagerstown commented in an email, a recent poll indicated that Obama is worse than Bush 43 and Jimmy Carter, which I think we referenced that last week.
Right.
So that was his comment. We have Stan W. from Ringgold who texted us, which I didn't even know we advertised that, but we did apparently, that nobody can be as bad as Richard Nixon, particularly because he lied to the nation about his direct involvement in the Watergate affair.
And I questioned that text when I got it.
Oh, you got it, okay.
Yeah, I got it. When I questioned that text, and I said, well, hasn't President Obama done a little bit of lying? Just a skosh?
A smidgen?
A smidgen of lying?
A smidgen.
So,
So Billy B.
suggested
in his email that all you Republicans, all of you, are just mad because he, Obama, is a Democrat. None of you pointed out Bush's fault. Well, first of all, Billy, I'd like to say thank you, because what I really expected in that one was you to pull out the race card. But you didn't do it. Thank you for that.
That's exactly right.
Anybody else on that one?
Well, I'm not sure that our entire panel is made up of Republicans on any given show. So,
and we didn't have to talk bad about President Bush because the other side of the aisle did enough of that at the time when he was in office.
So we also talked about immigration last week on the Rip from the Headlines, and Stephanie from Hagerstown actually messaged us on Facebook and said, we don't need any more welfare people here in the city.
That's it. Yeah.
Well,
so that was
way to go, Stephanie.
Way to go.
Interesting stuff.
And Charlie said in an email, this could be a boom for our local economy, since these illegals, and Art, you made this point earlier, come with federal money. Some of our local folks came with, I wish some of our local folks came with money to pay their way. So Charlie is all about the government cheese.
That's exactly right.
And a lot of it.
And finally, James E. from Halfway, and James was pretty harsh. He said, let them all go to California. That's where all the crazies are right now.
Oh boy, yeah.
Or maybe put them up in the Maryland governor's mansion.
California would be my first choice. I think that would be fine. I don't
Just
know that
like Jed Clampett said, California is the place I ought to be.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I want to touch the crazy part, but go ahead.
Okay, so those were our comments from last week. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page this week, and that's facebook.com/the Flipside TV, and add your opinion to this topic on our page. We'll report the best entries again in next week's show. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. Copyquick. Most people know Copyquick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. Copyquick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow! I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. Copyquick.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
For over 20 years, Antietam Cable Television Productions has been bringing you local programming. From coverage of the Alsatian Mummers Parade and high school sports to unique local programming like our Ghosts and Legends shows and the Civil War in Washington County. Now you can own them on DVD. Just visit AntietamCable.com and click the DVD store button at the top of the page. You'll find all your favorite local programming from Antietam Cable. And right now, for a limited time, get 25% off plus free shipping on everything in the store. Antietam Cable Productions, bringing quality local programming to your home.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Everybody has pet peeves, and in this segment, we'll let our panel air some of their personal hot buttons. Art, do you have any pet peeves?
Yeah. What'd you tell me? Brucci had 327.
That was my first pet peeve is Mayor Brucci has 327 pet peeves.
I think I'm a little less than that, but I've got a bunch. But I can't help it. You know, voter turnout, voter apathy. I am peeved beyond even being able to talk about it sanely. Last primary election, 16.4% of the registered voters showed up to vote. That's unbelievable to me. And we've had elections in the city of Hagerstown, even general elections in the city of Hagerstown with less than 18% people. So that means your candidates or your elected officials are elected by an absolute minority. Yeah. And that's a pet peeve. I just can't help it.
That's an excellent pet peeve. Absolutely.
And I got more, but...
I have one from Whoopi Goldberg, if I may. I don't have pet peeves like some people. I have whole kennels of irritation. What about you, Jim?
So, my pet peeve is the entire U.S. Congress.
Ooh.
Actually, well, I say that somewhat in jest, but not completely.
535, by the way. That's how many.
That's right. So, actually, one of my pet peeves is, and these are in no particular order, but I'll give you one here, is the left-laners. Now, not the left-leaners.
Left-laners.
Okay, so these are the people that you're in behind on the interstate and we're passing someone and we get past and there's nothing but clear road ahead and they stay on in the left lane. Right. And you want to do the right thing and not pass them on the right.
Right.
But they just stay in the left lane. Now they're not really even doing, in some cases, the speed limit, because I never exceed the speed limit for the record. Not intentionally.
Sheriff Mullendor's watching.
Exactly. But that's one of my pet peeves, is the left laners.
I have to agree with that. That was one of my peeves as well. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is complaining about a TV show or an article in the newspaper, a contributor to the newspaper, complaining about it really loud rather than just turning off the TV or not reading the article. That just aggravates me. It's there, skip over it, or turn it off, change channels, whatever.
Well, and what bothers me even more so than the complaints, or equally to the complaints, is, and that was on one of mine, the movie/TV talkers.
Okay.
The people that will try to narrate the television show for you as you're watching it, or the people that will miss a part of it and then will interrupt you to see if you heard it because they didn't.
Do you know somebody of that nature?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Won't mention any names.
Do you want to go to your next pet peeve while you still can?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Before the producers come in on this one, I got you. Well, the other one, it's along the same lines. I am irritated and frustrated very often when somebody who is a celebrity with no background experience on a specific issue comes out and says, this is the way it should be. And they have nothing in their background to back that up, other than the fact that they made, $6 million doing the last movie.
And they stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
That's exactly
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Or those educators, and God bless them, but those educators that get upset with folks like me that pretend to know what they're supposed to be doing, and they say, you're not an educator. Well, folks, you're not a soldier either.
Well,
yep, so it works both ways.
Absolutely.
And
we got, we talked about this one earlier, Fred, and I'll probably be thrown off the air for saying this, but one of my biggest pet peeves, speaking about soldiers, is, I'm sorry, when the President of the United States walks off Air Force One, the current president, and he takes a salute and returns a salute from a soldier, I'm sorry, I'm disgusted with that.
I
because
certainly.
I'm not certain this man knows anything about being a soldier. And so, Jim, you can have me thrown off for saying that, but I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opinions expressed are those of our panel and do not represent the opinions of Antietam Cable Television or the Flipside producers. Although that was one of our producers, so that's another story.
Or when someone asks you for your opinion, but then you argue with them because it didn't match your opinion, Jim.
Right.
Or not yours, Jim.
How about cell phones in restaurants? And it's even more bothersome when it's somebody at my table who answers a call during dinner, and it could be at home too. We have a no cell phone during dinner rule at my house.
Smart move.
The cell phones in the restaurant things, you get the people behind you that are talking loudly on their cell phones and doing those types of things, and that's another one that bothers me greatly.
On a more practical note, is I'm getting a pretty good pet peeve over traffic circles, particularly the little ones. Have you been out to some of the little traffic circles where I don't have a big car, but I have a hard time even getting it turned inside the circle? And then, of course, to add on to that pet peeve is I am confident that no one else on the road knows how to operate in a traffic circle, including myself.
Yourself.
That's exactly right.
One of my biggest ones, being a former smoker, and we're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit too,
Right.
but folks that think that they absolutely have to discard their cigarette butt out the window in front of me and it bounces off the front end of my Corvette. Yeah. And those same people will stop at will be in a parking lot and open their door with their ashtray.
Oh yeah,
If they even have them in their, even if they kept the cigarette butt in their car to begin with.
Right.
That is just, where's the cigarette butt police when you need them? That's so aggravating. It just infuriates me.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
But
Jim, you got any more?
There are so many, Art. Where do I start?
327 of them.
Unfortunately, many of my remaining would get me kicked off the air too, and one of us has got to be.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. A lot of room for all of us.
Well, I think being in the middle of something, you're telling somebody a story, and they're not paying attention, or worse yet, they're texting someone while you're in the middle of something. And that happens quite a bit.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm just boring or what, but it just, I find that really.
Well, truthfully, I have a lot of trouble with just the concept of texting. Whatever happened to picking up the phone that you have in your hand, calling who you want to talk to, and having that back and forth? Why do we have to text? Anyway, that's going to get me thrown out of my house.
Probably will. Well, you know, it's going to be interesting. Right now, though, we're going to be going into a next segment. We're going to be talking about the e-cigs on our People's Choice segment. So please stay tuned for that report.
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Woodlands Apartments, with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Conveniently located close to Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them? Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Here's what our customers are saying about Wolf Furniture's showroom.
The showroom is amazing.
They have a beautiful selection.
Wolf's showroom is awesome.
Beautiful. The Wolf showroom is beautiful. Awesome.
Classy. Compared to others, very classy.
Very classy, very unique. And as Freddie said, the prices are very competitive.
Come in and see for yourself our wide selection of quality furniture at very competitive prices at Wolf Furniture.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
So thanks to John M. of Hagerstown for this week's People's Choice topic. John writes, I quit smoking over 25 years ago, and now I am at a point where I can't stand cigarette smoke. I have seen a couple of people smoking these e-cigarettes outside of our office and have not had any issues with the secondhand smoke. I am concerned, however, about the vapor that is released. Are these things safe? Art? What do you know about e-cigs?
Well, darn little. I'm a reformed smoker. I think we talked in the
Yes,
warm-up.
right.
All of us
are,
reformed smokers. I know very little about the e-cigarettes. I'm concerned. I think like the person that called in. I'm concerned about what are we going to find out about this vapor 20 years from now? Are the e-cigarette companies going to keep secrets from us that it causes cancer in laboratory rats or whatever? I mean, what's going to happen down the road 25 years from now? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, because the FDA hasn't stepped up yet because they haven't been out all that long, but it's a big business. I was reading that in 2013 alone, it was $2 billion business, but course, the regular cigarette is like an 80 billion, so it's still relatively small. But a lot of the new or the three largest tobacco companies are manufacturing these e-cigarettes because now they can get to a bigger audience, even though they say we're trying to stop, that. But
well, in terms of sales, the e-cigarette sales, $1.7 billion projected in 2014. In 2008, the first year they measured it, $20 million.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference, exponential growth in these things.
That's incredible.
I can't imagine smoking, a grape flavored anything. And these e-cigs come in like thousands of different flavors, right? I mean,
they do. I happened to stop at a 7-Eleven on the way back from Owens Mills the other day, and they had about 5 or 6 different flavors, Fruity Tooty or something like that, and it was just, wait a minute, I'm going to smoke those. I didn't understand.
Peanut butter parfait e-cigarettes.
Yeah. Real men smoke Pall Malls, man. I mean, unfiltered. Right?
Exactly.
Remember the days?
Gummy Bear, Fruit Loop, cotton candy.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. So interestingly, though, and there are 45 million smokers in 2014 in the United States. There are 45 million
smokers still
in the United States. There are 2.5 estimated million e-cigarette smokers.
Okay.
The smokers, however, who are trying to quit and switch to e-cigarettes, on the positive side, 31% of those are able to quit with the switch to e-cigarettes.
Interesting. The thing that amazed me, and honestly I didn't know this till I read an article like today or maybe yesterday, was this vapor still contains nicotine.
It does.
Which was the thing that purportedly hooked me and 45 gazillion other people on cigarettes over the years.
That the military forced us to smoke.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We remember those days. But I did read something off of the internet, so it must be true.
Oh, absolutely.
So I want to emphasize that.
It'll be in Reader's Digest next week.
I read something like 1.25 e-cigarettes or cartridges will deliver the nicotine in a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
And of course one of the beauties of this, if you will, is the e-cigarettes less money, because they don't tax. It doesn't have the exorbitant tax like the regular cigarettes.
Yet.
But I can't imagine 1.25 cigarette or e-cigs having the nicotine of 20 cigarettes. That's I mean, that should make people.
Well, it does. And what is the incentive to stop puffing on that thing? I mean, with a cigarette, when you get done the cigarette, you get rid of the butt, hopefully in the appropriate place, and then you move on and do the other parts of your day.
Yeah.
And then you go back and smoke your next one whenever that may be. But you could almost be a chain smoker on these things out of the box.
Sure.
No pun intended.
And it's called vapes. I saw that term, vapes. Which
That's
I
the
found,
name?
That's the name,
Okay.
yeah. You're getting vapes, not smoke or anything like that.
Fred,
It's not smoke.
You brought up just an absolutely fascinating thought. Is what are we going to do about taxes? That's so they're not taxed at this time.
Not yet.
And what are we going to do about, are they going to be banned in restaurants? Because right now, there's a percentage of the population. I was at an event in D.C., and of course, D.C. was one of the first, well, you can't call it a state, but it was one of the first in the United States to ban cigarettes indoors.
Right.
And there was 2 or 3 people there puffing on these e-cigs.
Yep.
Is that allowed?
Well,
they assume it is.
Interestingly enough, on the airlines, the federal FAA does not specifically ban the e-cigs. Now they talk about smoke.
Okay.
Articles that smoke.
Oh, but this is vapor.
This is vapor. So even the I almost use the word stewardess. I apologize. The flight attendants were in their little areas doing the e-cigs as well during flight. And so that they now, each airline is trying to handle it within their own. Eventually, it'll be.
And are there restrictions on what age you have to be to buy these things? Because again, statistics tell us that there are it's still 600,000 teenagers per year that start smoking.
Yep, kids love us, is what they say.
600,000.
Oh, is it? I mean that's in the part of the commercial.
Yep.
or the advertising. Kids
Yep.
love it.
And there are no bans to advertising this right now. You know, like since 1971, they haven't been able to advertise cigarettes.
Yeah.
Celebrities can't advertise those kinds of things, and yet the e-cigs, there's no restriction.
No warning.
No.
Oh,
even though it's 1.25 cigs for a pack for nicotine.
Jeez.
So I don't know about you guys, but from my perspective, I would love for the state legislature to go back and get rid of some of this other craziness that they're trying to legislate. And let's talk about this, because there's some issues here that need to be addressed.
Sure.
And I'm going to take the last word on that. Stay tuned. Next up, Fred Shinber is going to lead a discussion on economic development in the city of Hagerstown. Is this new plan the key to the city's success?
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Discussion continues about the Urban Partners Report on how to stimulate the economic development in Hagerstown, and at the mere price of $125 million, or the equivalent of 4 baseball stadiums, if any of you still remember that debacle. Art, where are you on this plan?
It's interesting. I have in my hand the synopsis of the 8 new initiatives that was brought forth by Urban Partners for the city of Hagerstown to enhance economic development. And the interesting thing about it is I've looked at all 8 of these, and I've been in the business, been around the business of economic development and redevelopment for almost 20 years now. I don't see anything new here. I don't see a thing new. Jim, expand the Maryland Theater.
Great idea.
Fix the seats. I mean, how long ago has that been on the?
Well, there's a program, there's a plan in effect right now. In fact, I've heard some radio advertisements around that people can buy a seat, and I know they've got some funding for it.
Well, the city and the county have stepped up a little bit. They're offering a subsidy, if you will, for that overall program. But in the paper, it was reported that if you want to purchase one of these seats, one of these new seats, it's going to cost you somewhere between, I think it was $300 and $900. I don't know that that's a big bargain. I mean, and 125 million for the overall program, probably 10 or 12 million in the Maryland Theater, according to this plan. You know, Fred.
So Art, when we had the SORA report, when we had the SORA study,
right.
SORA was bringing money to the table.
Right.
What kind of money are these guys bringing to the table?
I can't find a thing in here that says Urban Partners is going to bring money to the table or find money to bring to the table. And you're exactly right, Jim. That was the difference, at least from where I sat, between what SORA wanted to do. SORA was saying, interestingly enough, they were talking in terms of $300 million, but they were also talking in terms of bringing private investors to the table in Hagerstown. And
why did we turn them away?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I did know why we turned them away. The best I can tell you is that I'm not so sure that that the local developers really wanted that outside help. I also believe that that our elected officials, particularly in the city, for the past number of city council boards, have just not had the will to take some of these projects and move forward with them. And I mean, in Fred's lead-in with the stadium is a perfect example. Here we're talking about a plan that would encompass funding could probably buy us 4 baseball stadiums, and we couldn't even get off the ground on one.
Yeah, so we're going to come up with the other $100 million.
Well, that's exactly right. It's
And I mean, there's some good things on here, and I don't want to totally poo-hoo the report. The only thing I have a concern with is, are we going to take some action here?
Well, and that's the key. You know, this can be an action-oriented document where we look at the recommendations and put plans together to bring them to fruition, or it can be another dust collector on somebody's shelf in City Hall.
That's exactly
And unfortunately, in my experience, the latter has been more often the case than the former.
Right, right.
And I think that's the trend. I think that's the study we need to have, how to bring action to this thing. And that's what I liked about the SORA piece, because they were going to go out and attract the investors. And quite frankly, I bet you 300 million is a closer number than 125.
Well, I really do too. Yeah. I really do too.
So your suggestion, Jim, have commissioning another study to study
No,
how to
we don't need
implement
another
this
study. We don't need
Is
any
that
more
what you were
studies.
saying?
We don't need any more studies.
You know, on a previous segment we
what
talked.
What we need are some folks that have the
political
how do I
will.
say how do I say this gently?
Yeah, political will. You could use a Spanish term, because I know where you're going.
Yeah. So the point is, I mean, and I'll give you a couple of examples around that. First of all, University Systems in Maryland. Bob Brucci caught a lot of slack on that. Can anybody argue that that is not a jewel?
Sure.
In the downtown crown?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Can anybody argue that?
No.
Barbara Ingram School for the Arts, another jewel. The Washington County Free Library, another jewel. And these things took people to stand up and say, guess what? It's a risk, but guess what? Getting up in the morning's a risk. And the bigger risk is not doing anything.
That's
sure.
You can have every plan in the world, but until somebody does something about it, it's not going to happen. Next up, we're going to have our last call. Please stay tuned.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, But I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow! I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. Copyquick.
It's that time of year again at Hagerstown Honda. The 2014 models are on the way and the 2013s must go. It's your last opportunity to save big with 0% for up to 60 months on every new 2013 in stock. There's less than 300 models remaining and time is winding down. Looking for the lowest payment? Lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Civic 4-door LX Automatic for only $219 per month with no money down. Or lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Accord 4-door LX CVT for only $269 per month with no money down. It only happens once a year. The Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now from the dealer that's making it easy, Hagerstown Honda.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport, conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore. We have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Each week during this segment, we give each panel member a chance to say what's on their mind. Fred, what's on your mind?
Take a short moment, even though it's probably perhaps the most important one. Being a military career member but a proud American, got to give kudos out to Staff Sergeant Ryan Pitts, who was 2 days ago awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for Valor in Afghanistan, one of 9 living recipients from the Afghanistan War. Wounded, he saved lives, he lost buddies, one of the most humble soldiers we will ever encounter during this war. So my hat's off to Staff Sergeant Pitts. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Fred, that's touches my heart.
Yep.
Jim?
So I hate to pick on the city again. I really do. But I got to tell you, I am just frustrated beyond belief with the whole interaction between the city and the landlords. Because once again, it looks like the landlords are going to be targeted as the bad guys, and arguably there are some landlords that are bad guys. They have blighted buildings, they don't keep up with their properties, but I would hope that they are the minority. And I would expect the city government would not target every landlord in the city when there is just a minority that have the problem. Go find the minority, enforce the laws that are on the books, get the problem fixed or take whatever action is necessary, and leave the rest of the honest, hardworking, trying to make a small dollar, keeping a nice property for renters, leave them alone.
Sure.
And it just drives me crazy.
And we could talk about that for hours, about just government intervention in all the wrong areas. Jim, you're spot on. I'd like to give a shout out this week, the Ag Expo going on down at the Ag Center. If you haven't been down there yet, get on down there. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. Never forget the fact that on the Maryland state flag there are 2 people. One's a farmer and one's a waterman. And our Ag Expo does a great deal in this community to enhance the fact that farming is still a very important part of our economy here. We're out of time for tonight's, but remember, check in with us at Facebook, at facebook.com/the Flipside TV. Follow us on Twitter and email, or email us at feedback@theflipsidetv.com with your comments or suggestions on issues. Also, set your DVR to record this program every week. For now, from our panel, from our producers, and from our staff, we're glad that you tuned in with us tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you again on the flip side.